Welcome to the Angry American Show. Highway Jack with you. Running solo tonight. My man Tim couldn't make it. Excuse me. Hopefully he's out there in the airwaves listening in. And I got to encourage you guys, make sure you get a chance to call in if you got anything you want to talk about that I may not have hit on, or if you got a question. It's 678-760-1556, just for fun radio. That's right, boys and girls. It's just for fun. And you YouTubers out there, you can see the shirt I'm wearing. Trump. Let's make America great again. We're going to talk some about that, and I wore that just kind of mess with some folks. Why not, right? So what are we going to talk about today? I'm going to run down some gun stuff for you. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm laughing at my own notes here. We're going to talk about some PTSD, a little bit of urban development, touch on the Louisiana stuff going on down there with the flooding. And, of course, we got to talk about Clinton and Trump themselves. And we'll do a little bit of talk about what's going on in the rest of the news. I'll leave some up for the imagination and some up for you guys if you want to call in and talk about it. But first and foremost, I have to another show that, as much as I hate to, I've got to start off with a condolence. And my prayers go out to a good friend of mine who lost her daughter the other day. You know who you are. And my prayer, well, I said I wasn't going to say it on the live stream video, but you know what? I can't go without saying, Kimberly Lee, my condolences. And as from what I've seen on my Facebook page, oh my God, the outpouring from the local people. With that being said, we'll move on to the rest of the show. Get a drink of water here, see if I can. Sound like I got a Clinton thing going on. I mentioned her name, and all of a sudden I'm coughing and hacking. And if you haven't noticed, way back from 2005 up till now, even Hillary has been having a bunch of health issues. It's not something that just started. I mean, she's no spring chicken. I mean, Trump's not either. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. First, I want to talk about the Second Amendment, guys. You have got to stand up, get involved in everything, whether it's NRA, Georgia Carry, what have you. Make sure you get involved in something out there. And again, I really wish Georgia had a firearms training program before you get your concealed carry permit. Unfortunately, they don't. But Striker Firearms Training does offer training. So hit us up, look on Facebook. You can find us really easy there. So with that being said, what I wanted to talk about, let me see if I can pull it up down here at the same time. I can't remember who did the video. Well, it doesn't matter. I won't even worry about pulling it up. I'll just tell you about it. The same thing that gets done when they go out and do the pick on people, so to speak, and, go out and act like they're for something, whether it be for Trump or for, Second Amendment and stuff like that. They went out and they did this fake petition, which, those things, I mean, come on, you got to watch. You got to be on full alert. Those things are just sitting there waiting for suckers to walk up. So they had these guns lined up, and the whole premise of this was to get votes. And what they would do is when you walked up to the table, they would ask you if you were for guns or not for guns. And everyone that was for gun, even if they were standing next to their best friend that was against guns, they would tell, oh no, you're not our list. You're not for us. If you've got guns, go away, push them away. And it was amazing how many people would just get up, just walk right away from that. Me, of course, I would have to ask a little bit more about it, but it was common sense is what they were pushing. They wanted common sense gun laws. So they had this whole table lined out, a variety of rifles, mainly a few handguns, and they're wood guns, wood and metal guns, and then you had the polymer guns and the combination of the tactical and all this. And they were asking everybody, and this goes back to, these are the people that are voting to take your gun rights away, okay? And yes, they are predominantly Democrat and liberal, but they're voting to take your gun rights away. And here's the thing. It's all on lack of knowledge. These guys were making up crap left and right. I mean, ridiculous stuff, terminologies that don't even exist. And, would ask these people to sign this petition based on how nasty. I mean, one guy just flat out didn't know anything about an AR-15 or an AK. And right away, he said, yeah, those things don't deserve, they are so lethal, those assault rifles. And, again, terminology, the media beats to death assault rifle. Well, then they asked the guy what he thought about the 30-06, a couple of guns down from it. He thought that was perfectly fine. Well, then they flipped the script and went with the ammo that goes in these guns. Again, these guys know nothing about the guns. And my gun audience out there, you guys know what the differences in these calibers are. So they show the guy the 30-06, and they go, "Oh yeah, that gun. No, nobody needs that. That's too much. That's too much for a deer. That's too much for anybody. They don't need that." So they show them all these calibers, and they get down to the 223, 5.56 round. And they're like, yeah, we're okay with that. excuse me, that's okay. We can deal with that. So with that premise in mind, I mean, that's the kind of people that are out there voting to take your rights away from you. So they don't even think that, a deer needs a 30-06 to be used against it. I mean, they're so against guns, and that's such a bad, 30-06. Oh God, look how big that is. But again, they have no knowledge of this stuff. And these are the people that are voting to take your rights away. So what I want you to do and encourage you to do, and is what we do, as I mentioned in a couple of weeks back video on the second, is every second matters. Get out and promote the Second Amendment. Don't be ashamed to get in a intelligent conversation with people, above the shoulders conversation. Don't let them get at you and get you riled up, because then you're just gonna, it goes back to the circus thing, and everybody walking by is trying to figure out who the clown is. Don't be the clown. But it was amazing. I mean, the video is so sad to watch, but it's hysterical because of the lack of knowledge. And that's the thing that you're up against. I mean, like I said, you got to fight these things above the shoulders. But it was just hilarious to me to watch, hilarious, and it pissed me off. Why? I'm the angry American. That's why. But it was like, really, you're gonna go 1 minute you're hating on it because it's a dangerous gun, it's vicious. But that wooden gun, it's okay, but it shoots the biggest bullet out there. Of course, they don't know this. And that's the thing that you're up against. So it is, I believe it was shared. If it hasn't been shared on the Angry American page, I'll share it. And again, if you're not on the page, just send us a request and we'll be glad to add you. The page is public. So get on there. And again, most people that post stuff on there pretty well above the shoulders, we'll say. They think pretty good. All right, PTSD. You guys know I talk about that almost every week because it hits home. And a lot of my listeners and a lot of my friends and the people I hang out with, being in the gun community, and just, being active. If you go to the gym, I mean, you'd be amazed at how many people you're working out with that are military or ex-military. So get out there. I encourage you guys to get involved in something to help with the veterans out there. I mean, we are losing veterans like crazy. The average is 22 a day, hence the 22 push-up program. I don't know what to call it other than that, but 22 a day on average. That's way too many. That's well over 5,000 a year. I mean, do the math. I know they state that on average, and again, these are averages, that we lose at least one veteran every 2 hours. That's just insane. You want to talk about lives that matter? These are people that put their lives on the line, went across, fought for our freedoms, and now they're back. And a lot of these guys and gals are homeless. And I mean, that should not be the case. We need to put our veterans first and foremost. I mean, our population is already more than we can handle in the way of employment. I mean, look at the employment rate. Truly, depending on where you read it at, on the low side in the 40s, but realistically, 53 to 57% of Americans are out of work. And they're bringing in refugees like crazy. How about we take care of the folks that took care of us before we take care of anybody else? Let's do that. Let's do what I tell, my friends to do. Take care of your home first and foremost. Take care of the people that are under your roof first and foremost. I mean, I know people that donate money that they don't have, and then their kids are going without. That's not what I'm talking about. Don't put yourself and your family in a position like that. Take care of your home front first. But this is ridiculous that we are allowing this to take place in America. These men and women go out and fight for us. It's time that we fight for those people. So on my page, for people that are friends with me personally, and actually I think I made it public, to be honest. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, and I'll double check. But I've got a 22 push-up challenge fundraiser on there. So feel free. And the deal, if you get into the 22 push-up challenge, it's $220 is your goal to raise. So hopefully you can get your friends out there. You get to pick a charity out of a number of charities that goes to, and you've got 22 days that you do 22 push-ups. I'm on knock down day 2 today, and every day you encourage someone else, challenge someone else to do those 22 with you. So it's a good thing to do. It raises money and it helps the awareness of people that are suffering from PTSD. All right, so do that. Jump on that and find a good charity to help out. And there's veterans, you can go out in your neighborhood and help, go to any of the local VFWs and help, go to the hospitals and help. Just get involved. That's all that I'm asking you guys to do. And with that being said, not only taking care of your veteran, take care of your fellow mankind. I mean, there are so many people out there that go out and are starving. They go to work and they don't have a lunch, for example. I mean, yeah, most of them are too prideful to admit it, but pay attention. If you're working with somebody and you notice that, you don't have to say anything to them. Just say, hey, how about I buy you lunch today? That whole pay it forward thing when you go through the drive-through, for example, somebody has bought your meal in advance. Do that for somebody close to you. Like I said, take care of the people that are around you. Those are the people that are going to be there for you. And they're going to be the ones that appreciate it the most. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. Just take care of it. Again, if you got something that's making you angry and you're an angry American, feel free to call in. I know I've been told that I haven't said that enough. So I encourage you guys to call in and, and I'll listen to some of your crazy stuff that makes you angry. I really don't care what it is. I mean, we can poke fun at whatever you guys want to. That's all good with me. Now, one thing to not poke fun at, or depending on how you do it, there was another broadcaster that said that Obama was going to Louisiana, but his daughter got high. You know the song, Afro Man did it because I got high. And if you haven't seen the pictures out there and the post on Facebook, yeah, there's the whole father-daughter thing. I mean, they push that the Obamas are the perfect parents, and then you find her twerking and smoking pot and, doing what teenagers do. Imagine that, man. Isn't that crazy? What the hell of it? All right. I'm not even going to say more about that because that's just, man, I could wear that one out. If you guys want to call in and talk about it, as I've been told, I hadn't said that enough. But so there we go again. And speaking of calling, I got a message here. Let's see. I'll try to read this and talk at the same time. We'll do the hokey pokey and turn ourselves around. Don't want to call. Well, they left me a long message. Don't want to call in. Well, you should call in. If you want that message heard, call in. Okay. Here's something that ticks me off. And I'm not sure if my co-host mentioned it last week on air. He did mention it to me. And I actually saw it again on Facebook today. So it brought it back around about the Dallas Cowboys. They've got that little sticker they've been wearing preseason on their helmet to support the 5 police officers in memory of those that were lost. And the NFL tells them they can't wear it. Are you serious? I mean, I don't know the NFL. I really pretty much have given up on sports for the most part because of the sad fact of the way pro sports have become, the way the athletes act. Used to, it was a big thing to be a professional athlete, and you acted accordingly. I mean, the teams travel with suits on. Women come up to the guys, and they respected them. Now that does not happen. Total disrespect across the board. So for the NFL to say, no, you can't wear that, but yet they let, oh, gosh, who was it? St. Louis. I think it was the Rams a couple of years ago, might have been last season or whatever, where they come out with that false narrative with their hands up, don't shoot, hands up, don't shoot thing. I mean, come on, people. You guys have got to wake up and get behind this stuff. I can't be the only one complaining about it. But, I mean, I wish somebody just come up with something stupid. I mean, literally stupid to get stickers put on helmets and see if they could get it passed. I don't know. I'm not going to call anything out, but, you pick it. And speaking of stupid, here's how stupid Oh, it's been a long day, boys and girls. CNN apparently was under the gun, so to speak. Got beat up for playing that video of the guy that got shot. And his sister was talking about how she didn't want, crime in their neighborhood, basically to burn their houses down. But yet they stopped it there and made her look like a saint, saying, oh, I don't want, crime in the neighborhood. That's not going to do any good. So, boom, they stopped the clip there, and she goes on to say, take that to the suburbs in a white neighborhood. Well, they only posted the part and said he was trying to be nice and all this stuff. Well, apparently enough people complained about it, saw the light, saw the truth, and said, hey, fix it. And they come out and made some hokey-pokey apology that was pretty daggone pathetic, I thought. It wasn't even worthy of calling an apology. It was an oversight, they claim. Blah, 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 F and blah. Insanity. Man, I had a friend of mine constantly tell me over and over about insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Well, that's kind of like, voting for a Democrat, which I was just having a conversation about. You guys that want to vote for a Democratic Party that's really killed this country in the last 8 years. Let's look at some statistics from Democratic-run cities. Crime rates from 2011 to 2016. Well, actually, murder. Let me narrow that down even more so. Murder. Baltimore. They've only had Democratic-run government for the last 49 years. 2011 to 2016, they're only up 37% in murders. But wait, boys and girls, that's not all. Chicago, sweet home Chicago. Toughest gun laws, no doubt about it, in the United States of America. Only had Democratic government for 85 straight years and is only up 64% in murders. What? Again, insanity. Our capital, Washington, D.C., 41 years, Democratic run government, but bam, 30%. So they're not as bad as Chicago. But let's think about this one right here. Now, this should come as no surprise, you guys out there. Milwaukee. Okay, the latest controversial issues going on in Milwaukee. 108 years of Democratic run government. 108 years. 66%. They're up 66. That's right, 66% in murders from 2011 to 2016. Holy cow. Now, that really surprises me. I mean, being Sheriff Clark is up there, you know, and he has talked a great game. I mean, I think very highly of the guy. And then I read this, 66%. Again, what did I say? Take care of home. Take care of your home, Sheriff Clark. Bring us some numbers that we can be proud of. Climbing 66% in 5 years. I'm not as impressed as I once was. Newark, only 109 years of Democratic government. They are only up 10.6%. Really? Wow. And that's like the best, right? 10%, right at 11. I will call 11, 10.6. St. Louis, 34% and only 67 years of Democratic run government. Now, I'm not saying by any stretch of the means that Republicans do everything right. I'm not saying the right side of the aisle does everything right. First and foremost, I'm a conservative Christian American. Yes, I'm a right-leaning by no doubt. Make no bones about it. But, wow. You know, you don't see numbers like that coming from Democratic-run cities. I mean, you don't. And you want to talk about what the Democrats are doing. I mean, in the black community, there's 58% of unemployment. And what do most of the blacks vote for? They vote for Democrats. And, you know, you can figure the percentages out. I'm not going to quote them because I don't know. And America as a whole, we're about 50-50. Now, depending on what poll you read, Trump's winning, Hillary's winning. Everybody says, you know, in fact, I just had a conversation, was involved in a conversation where no candidate is good. You got to vote for somebody, right? Not necessarily. You have a choice not to vote. And then you have a choice to keep your pie hole shut when nothing's going your way. But vote for the best of the two candidates that fits what your narrative is, what your lifestyle is. And hopefully that will be, you know, on the Republican side, because again, otherwise it's insanity. You keep voting for Democratic run government. Things are going to continue the way they are or actually they're going to get worse. Okay. I'm not going to kid you. You know, I really wish my co-host was here because he had a segment he was going to talk about Hillary, but I'll tell you, you look at her health, you look at everything going on, and she was on, a talk show. It wasn't Kimmel the other night. And she's been told so many times or called out so many times for having a pillow behind her back. And yes, I'm bouncing around. I digress and regress. Why? Because I got a D, a D. Okay, whatever. But she has this pillow behind her back all the time. Now, I think she had a pillow up under her shirt when she was on that show. I couldn't really tell. I rewound the video a couple of times. And from what I could see, if she didn't have a pillow up under her shirt, she had something going on up under there. I don't know what it was. But we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air with Highway Jack, Angry American Radio.
Hey, I am also an angry American. I'm pissed off.
Well, you have a right to be if you really give a crap about this country.
Yeah, well, what really pisses Bob?
I know that. Go right ahead, Bob.
What really pisses me off is the way that some people can't color between the damn lines. You go to a Walmart, they take up 2 freaking parking spots, sometimes 4.
Yeah, I know you've been looking at my Facebook page because I posted about that quite a few times. I mean, you're right. You can't even park between the lines. And yes, I had put. If you're wondering, boys and girls, who put that Post-it note on your car that told you in Henry County your ass couldn't park, it was me, the Angry American.
I love it. There's a photo of a turtle under a windshield wiper that says practice in this, and maybe you'll be able to stay between the lines next time. I had some business cards made up, something to the same effect, but.
Yeah, I've seen business cards people take. I don't have the money to piss away. If I'm going to piss away money, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it with my daughter, and do something that we care about. I'm not going to waste it on cars to tell some butt wipe they can't park.
Yeah, well, they were. It was a Christmas gift, but anyway.
Well, hey, that's a pretty cool Christmas gift. Now, I'll give you that one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I also want to say thanks for jumping on the 22 for 22 train.
Absolutely.
I'm on day 11 myself. Not all clean ones. I guarantee you, they're not all clean. I'm an old fat retired bastard right now. Excuse my French. But I'm trying, man. A lot of people have helped me.
Well, trying is that's all it's about, and that's the whole thing. And as you noticed, because I noticed you commented on the, I started the fundraiser, and it's, I've mentioned that. I guess you may have heard that on the show when I opened up the 22 push-up campaign, and it's $220 is what I'm looking to earn out there. And mine is actually going to the people that started. I would go ahead and tell you guys it's not an anonymous thing. I don't care who knows. My money is going out straight to the people that started the 22 push-up campaign. Because if they started the 22 push-up campaign and all the attention that it's gotten, as you noticed that I mentioned, and I'm doing what I am so critical, everybody else saying, all the time. It must be a trend going. But anyway, I mentioned that Brett Gash I believe Brett's somewhere out on the West Coast. I cannot remember. But between yourself and him, I said, you know what, I'm jumping on this. You don't even have to call me out. But I am going to take the opportunity every day to call somebody out and get them on the 22 push-up train. No doubt about it. Bob, that's a great thing. And Brett did it, and I was on the fence, and I was going to I expected him to call me out, to be quite honest with you. And then when you started it, I said, you know what? I'm not waiting to be called out. I'm getting on this train right here and now.
Well, I'm of the same mind. A good friend of mine helped pull me from the abyss. Didn't nominate me, but motivated me. And I started myself. I wasn't nominated.
Well, every now and then in life, you need a swift kick in the ass to get your motor running.
Well, and I pulled that swift kick pulled my head out of my ass. So I'm on the right track, and it's thanks to good friends and even anonymous friends, people that I haven't met, that motivate me. And I feel more. I've been through a lot here the last month and a half, and I feel more motivated now than I have in decades. So
well, that's a plus. Your timing. I just noticed this when I answered the phone. Apparently, it was. And we're not going to. I'm going to let you talk now, and I'm not going to cut you off. But I've got to point out that your timing must have something with commercial. So from now on, when you call in, I'm going to remind myself that it must be commercial break because I skipped the commercial break. So we probably talked right through it, but that's okay. You called in on a good subject, so I won't penalize you for it. I'll penalize myself. And so I apologize to those that missed their commercial break, and we'll try to play those again later. But go ahead.
No,
Brad.
That's fine. That's all I wanted to say. And I wanted to say thank you for what you do, for bringing up issues that people need to hear about.
Well, here's the thing about, there was a poll taken, and I really didn't watch the video long enough because I already know what the answer is. I don't need to know the statistical data on it. But pretty much America is fed up with politics in America today. In other words, they don't want to hear about it. They've already made up their mind. Exactly. They've made their minds up. They don't really care. The people that are voting, they know who they're voting for. And it's basically one of those issues. Don't confuse me with the facts because I've already made up my mind. In other words, they don't give a shit that Hillary's probably about to die. She's probably dying from every lie she's told. It's killing her.
Yeah. Well, there's more than two sides to every story. And it's up to the individual to find out the facts and make up their own mind.
Well, Bob, I tell people that, I throw these numbers out there, and while I feel very confident and I have no reason to blow the numbers up, I always encourage people, don't take my word for it. Go out and look them up. Curious minds want to know, just like Bob, I think without a shadow of a doubt that you would trust your life to me, but I would encourage you to go look at the facts that I put out there.
Oh, I have. Numerous people have motivation. There's that word again. Have motivated me to become more informed, not only about myself, but about the world that we live in. And that's probably the generation growing up today. They're not motivated.
Well, Bob, I'll let you and the rest of the world in on a secret right now, and the cat will be out of the bag. And this is something we hope, Tim and I hope, that will come to fruition. But we have a guest that we are hoping will accept our offer to come on the show. He is a retired veteran, suffered a dramatic loss of limb, and I'm just going to say that because I'm going to let him tell his story. But I really hope he comes on the show because I have read his story, and it is absolutely amazing. So there's a little teaser for you guys out there in the Angry American world, and I will let you know the date that's going to come around, because it is going to be the show that you are not going to want to miss, because the man has a story that will not only bring you to tears, but will bring joy to your heart as well.
Well, that's great. Well, look here. I'm going to let you get to the commercial break. I'm not as angry as I was 5 minutes ago. I'm still pissed off, but I'm not as angry as I was. So, great job, man. And I'm going to check out.
Well, don't check out. Just hang up on the call, and we'll catch up with you on the flip side. How about that?
Oh yeah, I want to finish watching this video feed.
All right, Bob. Thanks so much for calling in, man. And you keep doing what you're doing, and keep those days. You got what, 10? Oh no, you got 11 more to go. You're halfway there, right?
Well, I may start over. I may take a day break, and I may start over. I need to get 22 good ones in. I throw cheaters in.
This is one of those. The thought is what counts, because I can almost promise you that my old ass will have a day that 22 probably won't happen. But again, I'm hoping to raise that $220. If I don't raise the $220 by you guys donating, I will personally pay it, because it's a charity worth giving.
Now, you want to do that by the end of your 22 days, or?
They put a date. I didn't even really check the date, to be honest with you. The date is on the whatever I posted on Facebook, so I'm not sure what that date is. It's there. Okay. So hopefully it's not tomorrow, because if it's tomorrow, I'm going to be out $220.
No. Okay. Well, it's good chatting with you again. I'll talk with you again next Tuesday, and see you on World Wide Web.
All right, Bob, before you go, I'm going to give you a shout out, and I want everybody else to know that if you're not a friend of Bob's, look him up on Facebook, find him. You can find him through my page, but he is also helping other veterans out there. Feel free to touch base with him, ladies and gentlemen. He's a great guy and former military. So, Bob, thanks for your service again. I know I've said it a million times, but thanks for calling in.
You bet, man.
All right, you have a good evening.
You well. Ciao.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Bob, one of my probably one of our actually our only caller. Who am I kidding? He calls in. The rest of you guys send me text messages and PMs. Get off the daggum texting. Oh, here we go. What is this? Okay. I can't post somebody wants me to post their live stream. I'm sorry. Can't do that. But anyway, I digress quickly. I think, I touched on see, I have to make notes because I'm an old fart. In case you guys didn't know, I'm the big 5-0 here in about a week and a half or so. So yeah, I've made it halfway through the century. My goal is to make it a century and still be sexually active, whether it's alone or with a partner. All right, I said I wasn't going to talk about sex this show. I'm trying not to, but what can I help? Can't help it. It's in my blood, man. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, note this. We've got 14 minutes before commercial. All right, so what can we knock out in a 14-minute conversation? A whole lot of. Here's something I want to know from our president and Secretary of State, or used to be Secretary of State, loudmouth wannabe president, and also from the right side of the aisle. We'll throw him in the mix since I'm wearing his shirt tonight. We won't leave him untouched. What are you doing for Louisiana, I've mentioned. And what are you doing for the police talks with the black community that wants the police talks? They say they want this. So I'm asking you, what are you doing for it? Because the only person I've seen do anything of consequence was Donald J. Trump. He flew down there on his dime, unlike our president, who just spent 2 weeks of vacationing and 10 rounds of golf at the Vineyard. And I don't know, Hillary's been to 9 states, not Louisiana, and had like 5 fundraisers. Oh, and by the way, Miss Clinton, who claims she left the White House so broke that she stole stuff. Of course, she didn't admit she stole stuff, but she did return it. Her net worth, now get this, this is a woman that does not have a job of any consequence, really. She's out there on the campaign trail running for president, and she has a Clinton Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization, but yet her net worth is $100 million. That's right, with an M, $100 million. That's not chump change, okay? It might not be what Donald J. is worth, the Trumpster, but it's not chicken scratch. Matter of fact, it could feed some folks. But do you see her in Louisiana? Matter of fact, the BLM comes to mind. Black Lives Matter. And in fact, two very intelligent young men, black young men, it's sad that we have to say that in America. Who gives a crap what color they are? But for this purpose, I will have to tell you, they are black young men. Well, one of them's actually older than me, but the other one's younger. And he had the funniest live feed that I think I've seen in forever. Unfortunately, it was sad circumstances, but he wanted to know where the BLM boats were and the Black Panther boats were. And I thought, that's a very good question. Where are they? Because if Black Lives Matter so much, and let's face it, not everybody in Louisiana is black, by no means. But if Black Lives Matter so much, where are the BLM boats? Because they're not down there. Matter of fact, I haven't even heard the BLM talk about Louisiana. I did hear a few years back before Barack was president, him call out then President Bush for flying over Louisiana, which he couldn't land, is at least the story as I remember it. In my memory, it went with my hair. In case you guys are on the air only, I am a bald man. But, they said he flew over at 30,000 feet. Well, as far as I know, Mr. President didn't make it down there until today, I believe, was his scheduled arrival. I don't know if he did or not. I didn't see it on TV. I didn't have a chance to watch the news today. So, color me bad if I'm wrong. Yeah, Color Me Bad was a 90s band. I actually like those guys. But anyway, so there's my question to you guys. And matter of fact, Occupy Democrats, where are you guys at? You're not down there helping anybody. The only thing I've seen come out of the BLM besides, let's see, the so-called leader got arrested on a lynching charge, and Occupy Democrats is destruction. I haven't seen anything positive. And I think it's a heinous crime. And there's been some terroristic threats come out of both those organizations, but yet nothing positive. So I challenge you guys, anybody out there listening, if you've got anything positive done by either one of those groups, hey, I'm willing to hear it. As a matter of fact, I want to hear it because I would love to hear something positive come from one or both of those groups, because I have not seen that. But Miss Clinton, you're worth $100 million and you can't make it down to Louisiana, but you can go around and do fundraisers. Oh, but wait a minute. Memory serves. Barack he did take some time out of his vacation to do something. I think he attended one of her fundraisers. So it's not that he doesn't care about you, America. He just doesn't care enough to leave and go down to Louisiana and see what's going on. And by the way, Mr. President, in case you didn't notice, the waters have subsided enough that you can get down there. And I know you don't want to get your feet wet. I know, you're not a manly man, and which will bring me to my topic of the pussification. That's right, pussification of the United States. But, and he is the epitome of it. Matter of fact, he would be good to run, if you want to run for president of that group. Okay. I mean, boy, I might be getting myself in hot water there. Oh, Lord, can't have that happen. No way. But he'd be a good candidate for president for that. But, he is definitely not doing well anywhere else. So I question, where are those guys at? Miss Clinton, you're not down and doing anything good for Louisiana, but you can go to 9 other states was the total that I heard. That's pretty pathetic. Now, Trump not only went to Louisiana, but he took a trailer down there, and I've heard some quotes, 50, 52 foot, 53 foot. Most trailers are 53 foot, but I don't care if it was 49 foot. He took a trailer down to Louisiana and gave some food away. Well, it might have been food and clothing, whatever it was. Not only did he give the stuff away, but I seen him in line handing the stuff down the line to pass it out. So, this so far the man does what he says and says what he does. And he goes back again, as I've stated before, go back 20 or so years ago. And I'm going to read that. That's a message I am going to read in just a second. So, Jacob, I will read that one. But boy, you knocked me right. That's all right. I've been derailed, but Jacob said, yeah. Oh, bummer. Oh, my light just went off. Here we go. Let me just crank this puppy up here. Turn the old messenger on. Survey says, oh, bummer for president of the pussycat.org. LMAO. Damn Skippy. He'd be right on the money with that one, buddy. The Geek Squad could look up to him. Well, actually, the Geek Squad's better than he is. At least they do something positive. Oh, I got to be careful. I try not to disrespect the office of president, which I don't. It's just the guy that we've got in there. I don't have a whole lot of care. I mean, look at his books that the guy wrote. I see here I go bouncing around, but I got to point this out. In the book he wrote, and I can't remember the title of it. If anybody wants to text me that or post it, I don't care. Really don't care what the name of it is because I don't want to promote the damn thing because I don't want people to buy it. But if you have any doubts about what I said, look it up online. Don't go buy the book. Don't spend the money. He doesn't need your money. But he said that if the waters were to split or divide or however he termed it, I forget, how he did it, but he was definitely going on the Muslim side, the Muslim way of life. And I know that there's a lot of Muslims out there that are American born or they've come to America and you want what America has to offer. Hopefully, and the ones that I'm speaking of, I know that they are living a good life. They're doing right by themselves and by others. And I'm not going to call their names out because a couple of them are on my Facebook page and I'm not sure they want to be called out for that. But I know that they're Muslim and I know they're living right. So I know that that is possible. But as a whole, and I've said this before, and I'm not ashamed to say it again, being a Muslim is a cultish fever. That's what it is. They go around and promote violence and, they're trying to take the world over. And they've been trying to do this for 1,000 years. I don't know the exact number. Again, my memory fades. That's why I have these notes, as you see on YouTube, when I talk about numbers, because I want to be correct in them. Excuse me. I've just been told what the quote was. If the political wind should shift, I will stand with my Muslim brothers. Quote, unquote. Thank you, Mr. Tim Tenney, my co-host is at home kicking it in that chair. I guess you're at home. I don't know. And if you have, I hope that the beer was hot. No, I joke. If you're at home, kick back and relaxing, then that's okay. But you owe 22 days of push-ups. I remind you, yes, boys and girls, I called Tim Tenney out, and I have yet to see him do one push-up. So get with the program. All right. So there you go. Political winds change. He's going on the shit side of life. That's Obama for you. All right. And there was another quote he had in there. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, you get the gist of it. The guy is definitely going that way. He is not the best for America. Never has been, never will be. And then somebody tells, which she'd already thought about this, and this had already been spoke about, but yet the media is making it out to be a big to-do as it's a late, great thing. And it's not. It's been around for a while. They have thought that it would be a good idea to put Obama, because he has a law degree, and I still question if he is still legal to practice. Somebody had reported that he is still legal to practice law, but for Clinton to put him on the Supreme Court. Now, that would be another one of the Clinton payoffs, I think. I could be wrong. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I'm sure that all those things about people dying around the Clintons and all is just purely coincidental. Must be. But I don't think so. I'm not buying it. I ain't in on that one. Nope. I usually place bets on things I could win, and that one, not going to happen. All right. And speaking of Muslims, and I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, because I get so crazy, I lose my mind up in here. But ISIS, all of a sudden, you're not hearing a lot about it, but you would think you would. That didn't change, but you're not hearing a lot about it. Okay. They're still out there, boys and girls. They are still making their way in to the refugee open door. Okay. That's one thing you guys got to understand. All these people, and I'm waiting. Okay. I'm going to stop for gas on the way home. So if I come up MIA because I'm wearing a Trump shirt, guys look for me between Conyers and McDonough because something done happened over here. White boy, with a Trump shirt. But anyway, I'm not trying to be racist, but there are those out there that are. And that's the thing that kills me. You say Black Lives Matter, but you want to get pissed off at me just for wearing a Trump shirt. And it's happened time and time again. People have been beat up. Have you guys not seen this? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe you haven't seen it because the mainstream media doesn't report it. MSM. Boy, they miss out on everything. For some reason, anything that really counts, they miss out on. And I've told you guys before, I wish one day we'd have just a day. And I think Scotty and Mike were talking about trying to push a day of just no violence from everybody. Everybody quit doing violence. And let's have a good day reporting. Okay. Not a real world thing. Not going to happen. Some people will get on a train, but not going to happen for the most part. But, that's a sad thing. ISIS is still coming in, but they're not reporting about it. Okay. I mean, we had someone, I forget who she is. She's some bat crazy Hillary backing, and I believe she's in government or was in government, talking about, ISIS is not that big a deal. And she was questioned why the Orlando killer's dad was at her being Hillary's campaign, one of her campaign rallies. And she just flat out said the guy was crazy. And that took the media by surprise. They was not expecting her, although she was on a rant. She was on one of those blew a fuse rants. I forget what Hillary called it when she had scatterbrain, which happens quite a lot. But so the guy was absolutely crazy. I mean, just come out and said it. That kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that, but she did. So, that just goes to show. I mean, ISIS is a threat, guys. It's not over with. All right, pay attention to it because it's going to sneak up. There will be another attack. It won't be too long. I mean, it's been, I don't know what their time frame is, but you always hear them planning. And I expect something will happen. If nothing else, something will happen made up to help Hillary out with something that she's got going on when she goes in a hospital. All of a sudden, we're going to have a so-called attack or something that'll come out. So if Hillary goes in, mark my words, okay? Tell Highway Jackie's wrong if this doesn't happen. When Hillary does go in the hospital for her health, there will be an attack of some sort. There will be a mass shooting. There will be something that hits the mainstream media other than the push of Hillary going in the hospital because she will be going in. I mean, last night or whatever night it was, she was on Kimmel's show. They checked her pulse, blah, 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 which he probably doesn't even know how to check her pulse. She was breathing. And she opened a jar of pickles, which was probably already open. There's no doubt about that. And I don't, it just amazes me that the mainstream media doesn't cover that. All right. I kind of beat that dead horse, which she is. So after commercial break, I'm going to change the subject and we'll talk about, I got one subject I'm holding back on. I may break that out after either that or we'll talk about the pacification of America. That's what we're going to hit on next. And matter of fact, Ice-T has had a couple of deals on that interview wise. So we'll talk about the pacification of America. And if anybody wants to call in on that one, I would look forward to it because we will talk about how men are not men any longer. Right back, commercial break. And we're back live, Highway Jack, Angry American Radio Show. That's right. How do you find out about us, boys and girls? It's Just for Fun Radio. You can do that on the www.justforfunradio.com, or you can tap that app. That's right. We have an app. If you got a smartphone, it might be smarter than you, but look out there. Look for the app in your app store and tap the app. It's always fun to do a little tapping. I'm trying, okay? I'm trying not to talk about sex, guys and gals, but I'm all alone in here. So it happens. You know, what can I say? And there's a third way. Oh, it's what I'm looking at. YouTube. That's right. The boob tube. The YouTube. Check it out. All right. I've been texting a message from my co-host, and I knew that Obama, or at least thought that he could not practice law anymore. And I knew his wife was under the same deal. So they both, get this, they both forfeited their licenses back in 2008. To escape charges, as far as Obama goes, that he lied on his bar application. Now, what could he possibly lie about? His name, his social security number. I think he's had like 6 or something like that. So he voluntarily surrendered. Wow, if I worked my butt off to be a lawyer, I wouldn't be voluntarily giving it up, And let's see, what did he quote Michelle Obama or Michael Obama, depending on your point of view. Got that? After a federal judge gave her the choice between surrendering her license or standing trial for insurance fraud. That's pretty, hey, like I said, guys and gals, if you doubt it, look it up. You can Google. That's right, Google it. My YouTube and whatever. I can't remember how that joke goes, so I'll just shut up. All right, so we got the first black president and the first black president, the first black first lady, say that fast, who don't actually have licenses to practice law because they voluntarily gave up something they supposedly worked their butt off for. And there again, what have they done for you lately? Act like Janet Jackson, America. What have you done for me lately? Because they ain't done nothing for you. Crime is worse than it was before he took office. Unemployment is worse if you're paying attention to the real world, okay? If you go by the stats that he pulls out of his hind end, and, it's funny, I get people that joke with me when I say hind end, and actually I say rat's hind end. But anyway, I digress again. Oh, another text message. Let me check this one out, boys and girls. All right. Dara Lynn, my Brooklyn babe, is watching all the way from the Bronx. The Bronx. The zoo. All right, Darren, good to have you out there, young lady. Woohoo, she says. All right. Call in. Are you afraid of that accent? I know how it is. A southern boys with our southern charm. You scare you northern girls off. I forget who was it? Toby Keith or Trace Atkins had a song about all the rich girls liking them southern boys with a southern charm. Now, speaking of southern boys and southern charm, which it is kind of funny and ironic, if you will, that comes up to our pacification of America, because southern charm and being cavalier and chivalry and all of that, why does it always seem to fall on the shoulders of us southern boys? Because we got broad shoulders, we'll be a huckleberry, and we can carry it. Okay? Tim says you don't have to be a lawyer to sit on the Supreme Court. It's an appointment. Yeah, with Obama, it would be like a bad appointment. But anyway, back to pacification of America. Yes, the Southern charm, it is. What is up with you wimpy ass guys? I can't even say men, millennials. Okay, I see so many posts. Women are telling you that you are pussyfied. They're telling you. They post all this stuff on Facebook about opening a car door, sending them a flower, opening a regular door, which really pisses me off. Why? Because I get angry easy. Now, I don't really get angry that easy. But if I open the door for your ass, you better say thank you. And I open it for men and women, okay? It doesn't matter. And the whole thing, and when I say pacification of America, let me get this one point really straight, really quick like. I'm not talking about gays in America, not at all, because I know plenty of gay men that are men, okay? And I forget what the gay community calls or what people call, I don't know. They're just men, okay? They're gay men, whatever. But they do those things. They open the car doors. They take things out for women. I mean, and it doesn't have to be just that. I mean, jobs, for example, women have really stepped up to the plate. Look how many women are out there doing jobs that were just for men. Welding is a prime example. I've seen some gorgeous women. All of a sudden, they raise their welder's mask, and there's a gorgeous woman there, and they're feminine. They're not what you guys want to call, dyke women and gay women and all. They're feminine women. In fact, some of them do some very creative artwork, metal iron artwork and stuff. But they're doing that kind of job. Mechanics. I mean, it used to be just the tomboy girl that was a mechanic, but now you see women, real women, feminine women that are automotive mechanics, tech engineers. You name the job, and I mean, they're doing it. But yet, we have such a high employment rate, but yet there's jobs out there, but there aren't men doing it. And speaking of men, or lack of, let me tell you something. You guys that go out there and get a woman pregnant, that does not make you a man. It makes you a father, and then that should make you a man, but it doesn't. When you see these guys get killed, whether it be by police officers or whatever, these thugs that go out and you see them, who do you see crying? Even if they just go to jail, they get their court date, they go to jail. Who do you see crying for them? Their moms. There's never a dad in the picture, not an uncle in the picture. There might be. If there's a man in the picture, I would almost bet you $1 to a hole in a donut. Y'all figure that one out and get back to me. That it's their grandfather, okay? Because he's old school. But the men are not out there. I mean, to say the word men today, that's an uncommon thing. I mean, if you really define it, and I'm not saying you got to go out there and be a lumberjack. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be a man, step up to the plate. Okay? Like these guys that go over and the swim team. I mean, you're representing America in the Olympics, and you go over, get drunk, and tear up a door. Then you falsify some story. That's not being a man. Okay? That's being a sissy. All right? That is not a man. Now, he did man up, so to speak, and do something that Hillary's never done about a lie. He admitted he told it. Okay? But that does not make you a man. Okay? That is a sad story. Yes, I know maybe he just made a mistake, and that's a possibility. And he did own up to it. I'll give him that. But that still, I got to question his real manhood. I mean, we joke in the world among men about our man card being taken and things that we can get it taken. And that's just it. There's a big difference. People say it when a man does things like that, he buys his woman flowers or a card, or he calls, or he texts her, or he opens the door for her, or he lets her go out with a night on the town with the girls. They say he's whipped. No, he's being a man. He's showing that he cares about his woman. Guys, get out there and act like a man. Be a man. Okay? I mean, like what is that? Be the sword. Okay? Be the man. Okay? Just because you can get a hard on, don't make you a man. Okay? I'm gonna tell you that straight up. If you hear what I'm saying, can you feel it? Yeah, most of y'all, I mean, you don't get it. I mean, you can take a geek, okay, and all you geeks out there. And here's another thing: if you get offended by something I say, then you're not much of a man. Okay, if you get offended by anything, you're not much of a man. Uh, and Jacob just told me, and I can't say this guy's name. I'm not good. I'm a Southern boy, so I'm not real good with all these foreign names. Which being a DJ, let me tell you something. You go out and you do a wedding, and you get a wedding that's got all these crazy names in it. Holy cow! I have to spell them Southern style. And these people go, "That's not my name." I said, "If you want me to say it, it's going to be your name, because I have to say it, write it the way I'm going to say it." But Lochi, or whatever his name is, he's a chump. Yeah, there ain't no doubt. You ain't kidding. His parents need a whooping for not giving him a whooping. He slipped away back in the day. Lock T. Okay, see, you can spell Southern style. All right. But that's just it. And that's another thing that pisses me off about America today. Talk about pussification. You're going to tell me my kid does something wrong out in public and I can't whoop his ass? Man, you need to wake up. I had my son tell me that one time. He said he was going to uh, call in on me for child abuse because I gave him a spanking, right? And I told him real plain and simple. I said, I'm man enough to spend the night in jail. You going to be man enough when I get out? He kind of changed his tone real quick, like, because I was serious and he knew it. So he took that whooping like a man. And it was kind of a funny thing. When I say funny, he didn't think it was funny. I had to share this man, him taking it like a man story. Oh my gosh, poor kid did something wrong, and I had been threatening him, that he was going to get a whooping, and he really didn't think so. But we were in Walmart, and I was going to put the scared straight in him. So I picked up a child's bow door, I put it in the buggy, and he's like, "What's that for?" And I was raised old school. My grandfather was going to take something to me like that. I wouldn't have thought nothing about it. I knew he was serious. I didn't have to second guess it. So I told him, I said, when you get out of line, that's what you're going to get. I was hoping I'd never have to use it. Really was. I'm not into, and it was a child's bow door. So that point in question, when he thought he was going to call child services, I had him do what they had us do. Oh, we got a caller interrupting my story. I'm going to be digressing. Caller, you're on the air with Highway Jack, the Angry American. What can you do for me?
What's going on, Jack? It's the girl from the Bronx.
It's the Bronx girl.
What's going on?
I would say what's going down in the Bronx, but it ain't going to be nobody's hands because everybody got their hands up there.
Hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah, but yet they run around talking about busting a cap in somebody's ass. I mean, isn't that a contradictory thing? I mean, are you going to get my hands up or are you going to shoot me anyway? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't even follow any of that crap. It's just a bunch of morons. So what's going on with this, the pussification of America, and we have no gentlemen out there anymore.
Well, I was just going to ask. I was just going to ask your opinion. At first, I gotta ask you, okay? And I'm going to do this out in the World Wide Web because I'd like to put callers on point here. You're in the Bronx, New York City. Anyway, are we Republican or Democrat when you're calling in on the show?
Me personally, Republican, baby.
All right, so we got a Republican girl, young lady from the Bronx. Okay, go ahead with your what's your take on the pussification of men in America? Am I right in saying so?
I agree with you 100%. Guys don't believe in notions of fidelity, integrity. It's all about running.
Wait a minute, you realize you realize you just used a lot of words that the millennial men don't understand, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have to dumb this down a little bit?
Yeah, do it like the education system. Dumb it down and put it in Ebonics so they can get what you're saying.
So now, I mean, you gotta stay faithful to your lady.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I just got a message from one of our listeners says, yes, we do have men out there. They're just not in New York.
True story.
Oh, that was a Southern boy, I think, that said that.
I think I need to go down south.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Oh my God.
All right. I told listeners I was trying not to go sexual, but you did open the door like wide ass open right there. I mean, you just left the door open on that one. So I'll leave the sexual connotations out. So finish with your story about men not being men anymore. Because I'm glad you called in. I should have told everybody to give me a woman caller to give me what you think about the pussification of men, because it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist today. I mean, not in the millennials. And if it does, it's a very rare thing. What do they call the men that are they want to dress really good, but they think they're men? My gosh. Oh, I'm totally metrosexual.
Metrosexuals, exactly.
I think that's a
They
guy
go out and they get, well-groomed, manicures, pedicures.
Hey, I have no problem. Yeah, I have no problem with, people tell me that I dress up good or whatever that you clean up good. That's what they say. Tim says gay. Oh, I shouldn't have said his name on. Hey, we don't have anything against gays. I mean, we just don't happen to be one. But anyway, the metrosexual thing, I mean, that's kind of their way of getting out of being a man. I mean, very few metrosexuals, in my opinion, which is not worth, you mentioned that and you might get a good seat in the bathroom if you said I pointed you that direction. But That you don't see it. So again, I apologize for interrupting you, but finish your definition.
No, I agree with you, Jack. If I'm with the guy and he spends more time in the bathroom getting ready than I do, there's a problem. If you have more facial products and lotions and creams and soaps, nah, you gotta go.
Well, now I will say that there are men out there that have those things, and there's some of us there's some of us that need some help, and with facial care, and that's one thing. But like you said, if you spend more time doing it than your female does, then that's a problem.
We got a problem.
Yeah, and if you have a man or a male partner, because I can't say he's a man yet, but if you have a male partner and he's afraid of guns, you don't have a boyfriend or a man friend. You got another girlfriend. Okay.
Yeah, we might as well go out shopping.
Yeah, and the women that I associate with, quite honestly, 9 out of 10 of them, I will say, are gun familiar and gun friendly. They can shoot. Most of them can outshoot. Like I mentioned before, when I go to a pistol competition, I almost always hate it when I get a woman on the squad because I know that she can shoot. There's no question. I know if she's out there, she can shoot. Women typically won't put themselves in a position, especially that's male dominated, if they're not really good at it.
Correct. And if we're not good at it, we will get good at it.
Again, I'm going to be nice on that one.
Oh, geez. I opened it up again.
Well, I mean, my co-host isn't here, so it's pretty easy for me to stray my conversation. But no, that's very true. And, I was kind of questioning about talking about what it really is, the pussification of America. And that is not that is not meant to be derogatory toward women. However, it is meant to be very derogatory to the men that fit that description.
One thing I usually say to a guy that is, acting either effeminate or just isn't displaying that oomph, that charisma, I usually end up saying something along the lines of, dude, reach up your skirt and grab your balls.
Wait, run that by me again.
The only part tell a guy, reach up your skirt and grab your balls.
Oh, okay. All right. I misinterpreted that, but okay. Yeah, I won't even tell you what I heard the grab your balls part, and I just, I kind of got lost there really quick.
Whoops.
But yeah, that is so true. I mean, it's a sad thing. I mean, it really is. And like I said, I was really questionable about that. And I said, you know what? If it offends somebody, then they're probably the one I'm talking about. But yeah. So from the Bronx, you don't have any men up there, But here's the thing. And now let me before I let you bust me in the head with that. I've had callers and people that have texted me and been on my live feeds that are from everywhere, not just not New York, not I'm trying to think of one that really cracks me up when she comments where she's from, Michigan or Wisconsin or somewhere like that, and she says the same thing. But let me tell you something. If you ask women in the South, and I know I joked before you called in about it being a Southern thing with charm and being men, but if you ask most women in the South, they're going to tell you the same thing. There are no men here. Anybody that's anybody in their 30s probably, and definitely in their 20s. Matter of fact, I've got a good friend of mine, female friend, and she is, I think, matter of fact, she just had her 30th birthday this year, and she was saying the same thing. She had dated a couple of guys, didn't work out, and she actually said the same thing. She said there are no men around. Now she's met a guy and well deserving of a good man, and she's happy. So they are out there.
Good for her.
You just have to look for them. Well, if you're looking, you don't want to do that. If you have to look, then you're going to settle. And I never encourage people to settle. And here I said, and matter of fact, was told before the show to do the Dr. Love thing. And I said, I'd usually do it at the end of the show, but I'm not doing that tonight. But I will step a little Dr. Love into tonight's show after all, since a lady caller called in. Men or women, do not settle in life. Okay. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50 or above. Do not settle. Do not think that you are too old, because there are people that are 70 that meet the love of their life at 70. So never settle. I mean, don't put yourself in the category of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to die alone or whatever you're thinking. Okay. don't do that to yourself. But that's all I'm going to say from the Dr. Love factory is don't settle. There is someone out there for you, and don't go looking because you will find yourself settling. If it's out there, which it is, it'll find you.
Exactly. I agree with that. I'm single. I'm going to be 39 next Wednesday, and I'm at a point in my life where I'm not going to settle. I know my worth and my value, and I'm going to continue to live my life and be as fabulous as can be, riding my horse in the Bronx, and that's it. It'll happen when the time is right.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, I was going to make some jokes about riding your horse in the Bronx, but I'll leave that one alone. So 39, single and ready to mingle. Let me tell you, the perfect age, or the age that I think, and I'd mentioned this on shows previously, 40 is a fabulous age for women. So you're only turning 39. You're not quite 40 yet. But let me warn you, women out there, do not be afraid of turning 40, because for a real man, that is sexy. I'm just saying. Men will find 40 attractive all day long.
Wonderful. I have something to look forward to.
I thought I scared you for a minute there. It got deathly quiet. I was going to have to ring the bell. All right, Miss Darylyn, thank you so much for calling in. I'm glad a female caller called in finally. Not that I hate hearing from guys, but it's nice to hear ladies.
Glad to be the first.
Again, the door was wide open, but I'll behave.
I'll let that one for you.
Thank you so much. You have a great night in the Bronx.
You too, my dear. Talk to you soon.
Take care. Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
So see, guys, you can call in. You don't have to be scared. I won't bite. Just dropped my cord if you wonder where I went. But, yeah, I mean, don't be afraid to call in. It's worth it. Gets me something to talk about. You. All right, let me see. I got a message here. Somebody, oh, nope. All right. Yes, I will pray for you anonymously. I will not call your name out. I don't want to get you in trouble, but thanks so much. All right. So, pussification of America. From my first female caller, it does exist, and it's a sad thing. So, guys, like I said, reach under your skirt, grab your balls, see if you can find them. And sex does not make you a man, okay? Or having sex or being able to have sex. All right, so with that being said, the show must come to an end, unfortunately. We're a little over in time, but hey, that's okay. Why? Because I'm the Angry American. You guys, hey, and the whole DJ voice thing, you guys remember that from the 70s? And if you watched radio or listened to radio in the 70s or watched the TV shows about it, it was always that. Hi, you're calling in for Just for Fun Radio. Yeah, that was pretty wild. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to get close to wrapping it up. I did have something, and my mind just slips away. Oh, things that pissed me off, and Bob already jumped on that, and I was going to jump on the people that can't park. But, yeah, if your ass can't color between the lines or park your car, get something that you can park between the lines, because that ticks me off. So, yeah, if you're in Henry County and you got a Post-it note that said your ass couldn't park and told you how to learn how to do it, it was probably from the Angry American, just saying. And if it wasn't from me personally, hopefully it was from one of my lovely listeners out there in the wild, I was going to say web, but this Wild, Wild West. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's a good movie, which unfortunately I've lost all respect for. But that's a conversation for another day. All right, looks like I've talked all I'm going to talk this evening. Again, I thank you guys for calling in. Dr. Love did sit in for just a few minutes there. Again, thanks so much. We look forward to next week. I'm not going to tell you what's going on. I'm going to let you find out next week. But it is going to be different than this week, I promise you. And not just in topics, but I'll let you find out. Talk to you later. Thanks so much, Angry American. I'm out of here. Here's a hint. They're going to talk a little bit about Bill Clinton's got AIDS.